The movie begins with a mysterious man called the Traveler. His real name is never revealed. He enters a small, plain Christmas tree shop. The shop worker tells him that getting a certain object was expensive because of tighter security at the border and expects a lot of money in return. The traveler puts a black bag full of cash on the table. In exchange, the shop worker gives him a car key and says the object is in the trunk of a blue BMW. After taking the key, the traveler kills both the shop worker and another man, burns the shop down, and leaves. He finds a black suitcase in the car trunk. Ethan Kopech is a TSA agent at LAX. He's been working there for 3 years, but feels stuck in his job. He once wanted to be a police officer, but was rejected, leaving him unmotivated. The only bright spot in his life is his girlfriend, Nora, who works as a manager at the same airport. They love each other deeply and are expecting a baby. On a bus ride to work, Nora gently talks to Ethan about his career. She knows he's unhappy and encourages him not to give up, reminding him how he kept asking her out even after she initially said no. Ethan listens quietly. At work, Ethan is late again, upsetting his boss. A law enforcement officer named Williams announces that the Department of Homeland Security has ordered counterfeit detecting pens for staff to use. The crew is told to report any suspicious activity to a contact named Leo. Ethan's friend advises him to work harder and reminds him that he now has a child to think about. The friend also mentions he recently got a promotion, even though he started working after Ethan. Gathering courage, Ethan asks his boss for a promotion. His boss brings up Ethan's tardiness and questions his dedication. Ethan argues that he's good at spotting fake boarding passes and offers to prove it. His friend lets Ethan take his spot at the scanner to show his skills. Meanwhile, a white van arrives at the airport. Inside, a man is chained up, introducing a new character called the Watcher. The Watcher hacks into the airport's security cameras. At the scanner, Ethan begins working. The traveler contacts the Watcher for updates, but the Watcher notices Ethan at the scanner instead of Jason, who was supposed to be there. They decide to blackmail Jason using information about his family, then dig up Ethan's address and learn about Nora and the baby, passing this information to the traveler. As Ethan works, a customer hands him an earpiece, saying it's not hers. Ethan plans to put it in Lost and Found, but he receives a text telling him to put it on. Curious, he does. The traveler's calm but menacing voice comes through the earpiece, ordering Ethan to let a certain bag pass through security without raising an alarm. If Ethan refuses, Nora will be killed. The traveler specifies a man in a red cap on Northwind Flight 1850. When Ethan asks what's in the bag, the traveler coldly tells him it's none of his business. The traveler reinforces the threat by listing Jason's home address and details about his family, including his twin children. Desperate, Ethan tries to call 911, but the Watcher sees him through hacked cameras and alerts the traveler. The traveler warns Ethan that he's being watched constantly. His men have a rifle aimed at Nora, threatening to shoot if Ethan disobeys. Panicked, Ethan ends the call and locks his phone away. Meanwhile, Detective Elena arrives at the burned Christmas tree shop where two men, O. Vapin and his nephew, were killed. She learns they were part of the Russian criminal group Bratva. On O. Vapin's body, she finds a watch containing an ATF bug capable of recording 72 hours of audio. She sends it to a colleague to recover the recordings. At the airport, Christmas Eve celebrations are in full swing. Ethan tries to send an SOS using his smartwatch, but the Watcher stops him. The traveler taunts Ethan by revealing personal details about his parents, shocking him. Elena's colleague recovers fragments from the ATF recording, revealing O. Vapin was selling firearms to Russian buyers. The traveler admits he's a freelancer who takes jobs without questions. Ethan secretly writes details about the traveler on a passenger's boarding pass and hands it to law enforcement officer Leo. Leo understands the danger and leaves to call for backup. The traveler notices something is wrong and injects Leo with a fast-acting drug, killing him. He warns Ethan never to try that again. Ethan's boss reassigns him away from the scanner, disrupting the traveler's plan. The traveler orders Ethan back to his post or Nora will die. Thinking quickly, Ethan spikes Jason's coffee with alcohol, getting Jason fired. Jason realizes Ethan set him up as he leaves. Ethan reluctantly lets the dangerous bag through security and later vomits from guilt. Elena hears the word Novichok in the audio recording and recognizes it as a deadly Russian chemical weapon. She contacts Homeland Security. The traveler explains to Ethan how lethal Novichok is. At the police station, Agent John and others doubt Elena's findings until they learn a 911 call was made from LAX under Ethan's name. Elena and Agent John rush to the airport. At LAX, random security checks begin. Ethan uses his boss's credentials to flag the traveler's associate, Mito, for inspection. The traveler realizes Ethan is interfering and threatens Nora again. Ethan rushes to find her and sees a sniper's laser aimed at her. Nora confronts Ethan about Jason's firing. Before Ethan can explain, the traveler orders him to stay silent. The traveler later corners Ethan in the bathroom, leading to a brutal fight. The traveler activates a bomb set to explode in 10 minutes. Ethan finds his boss with Motto. The traveler dares Ethan to shoot Motto, but Ethan hesitates, and Motto kills Ethan's boss. Motto reveals his husband is being held hostage. Together, Ethan and Motto defuse the bomb. Meanwhile, Elena discovers the man with her is a fake agent and defeats him after a fight. Back at LAX, Motto is ordered to kill Ethan but accidentally shoots himself. Dying, Motto apologizes. Ethan takes Motto's phone and warns colleagues about Nora and a suspicious white van. Ethan switches the carry-on bag with a regular one, forcing the weapon into the cargo hold. The traveler boards a flight to Washington, D.C., but the bag is placed in cargo and scanned. Ethan tells Nora the plane must take off so he can stop the weapon. Nora is told to find Detective Elena. Elena learns the weapon is meant to frame the Russians and push a controversial weapons bill supported by a congresswoman traveling under a fake name. As the plane takes off, Ethan sneaks into the cargo hold. He confronts the traveler and traps him in a freezing cargo fridge where the traveler dies. Afterward, Detective Elena offers Ethan a job as a police officer. He eventually accepts. 1 year later, Ethan is living happily with Nora and their child, and he has repaired his friendship with Jason. The story ends.